Hey there, it's Will Shannon here, and I want to give you a quick introduction to human needs psychology. Human needs psychology was developed by Tony Robbins with the help of Chloe Madonis. Both are geniuses in their field. The idea is that people have different belief systems, different values, different rules, different upbringings. We have different languages. We even have different habitual ways of perceiving the world and reality. But we may have even come to this world with slightly different natures, depending on your belief system. But the question is, why all around the world do we have the same challenges? That we face in terms of violence and relationship breakup and medical challenges and things like that. So from an emotional perspective, not a physical perspective, Tony Robbins postulated that people have 6 universal needs that are hardwired into us, no matter what the culture, no matter what the upbringing, but they're human. They're universal to human beings. Now, I'll run through them very, very quickly with you because it's just meant to be an introduction. If you like it, he's got a great video on it where he works with a really beautiful lady called Tani, T-A-H-N-E-E. And that's in a couple of his programs. It's in his Ultimate Relationship program as well. But the first need is basically for certainty. And certainty is basically being sure that the floor's going to hold you up, a sense of control, a sense of being able to feel that you know what's going to happen. So the first need is certainty, and we can have different vehicles to meet this need. You could have a belief in guidance. You could have faith. You could try to control everything. And I'm going to post with this video a little link to a graphic, and maybe I'll put something on my website about it, and I might even blog about this because it's such a profound topic. The second human need is that for uncertainty, or variety. And now, these first 2 needs are in paradox, because if you know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, people get bored out of their brain. And so that's why we have the need to change our state. And again, you can pick a fight, you can smoke a cigarette, there's a lot of other things you can do, which I'll put there. The third need is that for significance, or feeling important, special, meaning, uniqueness. And that is in contrast with our fourth need, for connection and love. Now, you can get significance through being violent, through treating others really well, through being compassionate, through excelling, through having achievements. Now, the fourth need for connection and love, you get through intimacy, walking in nature, prayer, but it's a need to be connected to what's alive. Now, those first 4 are called the needs of the personality. The 5th and the 6th are called the needs of the spirit. And he calls those growth and contribution. And obviously, in other words, a service, learning, growing, becoming more. And so really, it's about human evolution in a way that's fulfilling. So the first 4 is about meeting the needs of our personality. The last 2 are really about having greater fulfillment in our life. And any student of human needs psychology promotes a focus on love and connection, growth and contribution, even though you have to meet all 6. Then they also teach that we have 1 or 2 needs that we prioritize above others, and they shape the direction of our life. And so the only other thing I'd add with human needs psychology is it teaches that all human beings have 2 fundamental fears: the fear that we're not good enough, and the fear that we won't be loved. And that drives everybody at some level. So I want to just introduce you very briefly to this field, and I want you to understand it's very powerful, because it may not make a lot of sense now, but it explains that our behavior at some level, or our behavior is to give us an emotion to meet these needs, and our emotions are there to know, are we meeting these needs or not? So we have various behaviors to give us different feelings that fall into these 6 things. You'll also notice when you study human values and human value systems, particularly towards values that people are moving towards, that a lot of the things that people are into, achievement and learning, and you could classify into these 6 needs as like 6 overall directions that people are trying to move. But if your life is all about love, number 1, it's going to be very different than somebody who values certainty and security. Or if you're all about significance and being number 1, that's going to be a very different life than if your whole life is around giving and growing. So this is just a little introduction. It's food for thought. It's a way to understand other people's behavior, that people do behavior to meet their needs. Tony Robbins wasn't the only person who first talked about these needs. There was Abraham Maslow, who had his hierarchy. William Glasser, who was a genius, he was a psychiatrist, talked about choice theory. There was 1 or 2 famous cognitive behavioral therapists that talked about human needs. But human needs is a way of understanding that we have hardwired things within us that cause us all around the planet to have some of the same problems and indulge in some of the same behavior. And if you want to learn more, you know the film. I'll see you on another blog.